to AG Martial Science Fight Channel. I am your host, El Garza. So one of the questions we're going to deal with today is, do martial arts really work? Do they really work effectively in real life fight situations, in the streets? And the answer in short is yes. Most martial arts do work. Now I say most for a reason. Now, if we understand martial arts, it's the art of self-defense in order for you to protect yourself or your family, or even in a situation you think you might be able to help someone from getting hurt. Now, martial arts, of course, if trained properly and trained with a credited, certified instructor in martial arts, can be effective against the average individual on the street who has basically no training. And again, that depends on your situation. Now, I spent over 40 years in the martial arts. I grew up in the martial arts, and if you watch my episode 1, you'll know a little bit about my family history. My mother, who was the first world women's lightweight champion. My father also, who was in martial arts as a teenager, had the first local martial arts TV channel in his area called World of Martial Arts, where he had major old school fight world champions like Ed Parker. You know, we had Tito Tuasega, the founder of the American Polynesian System of Lima Lama. We had, other Jimmy H. Wu, other world, martial art legends. I grew up around that. Of course, we were in the world of Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris and and Eric Lee. So I've been around martial arts my whole life, growing up in it. And I'll say martial arts, for the most part, again, if trained properly, does work in real life situations. And especially in the area of self-defense. Now, again, there are many fake martial artists out there. Ones who pretend to be martial art experts and professionals. And then there are novelists, hobbyists of martial arts, who just do it on the side, maybe took a few classes and watching videos and practicing in the garage against, mechanical dummies or wooden dummies, or Bob the dummy, that they look good. They can throw a punch, they can throw a kick, but in reality, if you put them in the street, they'll collapse like a broken chair. They're not trained in real martial arts. They never put it to the test. I myself, like I said, spent over 40 years. I've tested myself in the street. I've been in fights. I've competed in MMA. I've been a world champion in martial arts, traditional martial art competitions, underground fighting. I was a defensive tactics for law enforcement and government officials. I've traveled around the United States, internationally, international and national, testing myself and also training others. So, as a 6th degree black belt in Lima Lama, as well as a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and having a lot of years out there experience in the field, I know what a real martial artist is. If I see a martial artist, I'll know if he's a real martial artist. It's something that we collectively, as martial artists, can identify from the real to the fake. And there's a lot of fakes out there, and you know who you are. So those who are real martial artists will not brag about it, boast about it, and out there in the streets, and start, talk about all their titles and all that, supposed titles. But those true martial arts are traditionally humble and keep to themselves. Unless they're asked about it and they're asked to talk about it, then yeah, of course, we love to talk about our experience, but we don't promote it. And again, there are a lot of fake martial artists out there that we need to be careful of. And so in reality, martial arts does work. The majority of them do work. Now, there are some martial arts that people talk about. I've trained in other styles, like, I've done boxing and American kickboxing, Muay Thai, Aikido, Judo, Kempo Karate with Ed Parker in Pasadena. I've trained in different areas for a year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years in these different arts, so that I can take the foundation, the fundamentals of those arts, and then apply it and utilize it in my own system and make it my own. I don't have to get a black belt, and you don't have to get a black belt in every style. But if you are grounded in one particular style or even two, then it's okay to explore and learn the foundations and fundamentals of other martial arts, and then take what you know to work and apply it. So I've done that, and I've been out there. A lot of people who know who I am, my family's name, we are well known in different martial arts communities, specifically the old school martial arts and in MMA. So we've never gone out to be world, on the stage and popular and like in UFCs and all that. I have other things that I do, but martial arts has always been a part of my life. And most martial artists, if not all true martial arts, can see fake from real. So martial arts in its core do work if you're trained properly from a real certified instructor. Just don't be fooled out there with fake martial artists. That's the hard part. Even the ones who are hobbyists, if they don't have credentials and you can't verify and check whether, with their organization or the agency or through people who know them, then they're phonies. I've come across in my lifetime many fake martial artists, even hobbyists who think that because they can put a YouTube channel up and a Facebook post of them punching a dummy bob and doing all these crazy things with their hands and throwing kicks and looking good, that makes them a martial artist. Put them in the street, put them in real situations, and again, they'll collapse, they'll break, and that'll be it. They've never ever tested themselves in years of training and competition and putting their bodies through the test. So novelists, stay away from them. Hobbyists, stay away from them. If they have no real credentials that you can verify and validate, stay away from them. But again, overall, martial arts does work when trained and used properly. So don't be fooled by any imitators or out there. Check them out and make sure. For the most part, most martial arts do work and are effective in the streets. And others who again, who may be in martial arts, and I say this with all respect, you could be in a particular martial art for 10, 15 years, 20 years, even 5 years, and never really have tested your art, particularly in self-defense. And so you've people have talked about Aikido. Aikido, there's good techniques in Aikido if utilized properly, that can work. But in reality, most of it in its real hardcore form, put them in a real fight, a lot of times it's not going to work. So martial arts will vary in effectiveness and in real fight situations. And you can look at these up on YouTube for yourself and see sometimes martial arts, whether it be Tai Chi, Aikido, and other soft martial arts. We call them soft martial arts. They've never really been tested in the street, and those that have, a lot of times have failed. Unless you combine it with real martial arts, you can take certain moves from Aikido or Tai Chi and other things and combine it with effective martial arts that's worked, then yes, of course, you can make something work at any time, at any moment. So there's ways to make any martial art work. Just be careful with all the fakes. Martial arts do work in its general concept of what they teach and do, and applied correctly and taught correctly by a real instructor, they do work. And again, this is part of what our YouTube channel is going to be about, growing, coming out of my home, going and testing, talking to people, and showing what works in the real world, including what I know to demonstrate as well, and what have I learned and experienced in my lifetime. So listen, definitely like this channel, subscribe, share it. We're going to try to grow this channel, so please help us grow. But we're going to answer a lot of questions about real martial arts and the effectiveness of it, and show some real training and real benefits of it. So listen, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I answered that question. Do martial arts work? And we'll see you soon out there in the real world of martial arts, and hopefully I get to meet you someday. So listen, thank you, like, subscribe, and God bless.